All right, hello, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo and him finally greenlighting a trade, him saying, it's time, I got to get out of here. And this has been a long time coming. For those of you who have been keeping up with Giannis and the Bucks this season, there's been a lot of drama, a lot of uncertainty surrounding the future. So finally, today being the day where it's like, okay, enough is enough. We got to move on. And if you guys haven't, been paying attention to my channel at all, I made a video about this like a month or two ago where I laid down why I thought Giannis needed to go. Not because obviously he's not good enough, but because the Bucks had no assets and they had no answers to make the team competitive as they need to be. So as you guys know, the Bucks right now in the standings, they are 12th seed, 18-27, have lost 3 games in a row. Giannis is out 4 to 6 weeks with a calf injury that I've never seen a player do, but he announced himself in a post-game press conference. That was kind of interesting, but yeah, it's not, this season's not salvageable if Giannis stays. My biggest hope, and let me pull this up first here, Giannis is ready to leave Milwaukee Bucks in the future. The Hall of Famer prefers to be traded to the Miami Heat, New York Knicks, or Toronto Raptors, sources told Dallas Hoops Journal. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know, but my hope is he stays in the East. I'm kind of tired of the West being insanely good and just competitive way more than the East is. If he does, however, get traded to Miami, that means Tyler Hero would have to go to the Bucks. He gets traded to New York, that means Karl-Anthony Towns has to get traded to the Bucks. If he goes to the Raptors, you're probably looking at RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley going to the Bucks and more. Another interesting location that has popped up. The Warriors have made it known to the Bucks that they are willing to offer Jonathan Kuminga / Jimmy Butler headlined package with draft picks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If we look at the Bucks and their lack of draft picks, again, I've mentioned this earlier, so you might have seen this already from my previous video a while back, but we'll look at it again. They have no assets. Every pick has stipulations to it that basically doesn't make it their own. For example, 2026, Atlanta will receive the more favorable of Milwaukee's and New Orleans, and then Milwaukee will receive the least favorable of the two. So not good for Milwaukee. New Orleans will receive the most favorable of their 2027 round pick instead of Milwaukee. 2028, Portland will receive the most favorable of between the two teams. 2030, Portland has the right to swap its 2030 first round pick to Milwaukee's 2030 first round pick. The next pick that is just theirs and theirs only and no complications would be 2031, because 2039 is gone. I don't even know who it went to. Let's see. 2029, I might have said 39, but 2029 is going to Portland or Washington, and they don't get that pick, period. So the next free pick that they own, that there's no stipulations or no nothing, is 2031. So they need picks. And this has been known, but now that Giannis is going, we can talk about it like, okay, wherever he does go, they need picks and they need talent that they can either build up or they can just grow the value of the players that they receive and then trade them out for more picks because they need picks. The interesting thing about Golden State is they own their picks with no stipulations. 2026, it's theirs. 2027, theirs. 2028, theirs. 2029, theirs. The only thing that's not is 2030. But 2031, it's theirs. 2032, it's theirs. So there, comes this realization if you're Milwaukee where it's like, okay, well, what if, again, I'm not saying this is a good trade. Do not put this on me. I'm simply just going off this report here. If Golden State offered 4 first-round picks and then pick swaps, because you can't offer 4 consecutive picks in a row due to the Stepien rule, however it's pronounced. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, let's quickly pull this up. The Stepien rule, if that's how you pronounce it, is an NBA regulation prohibiting teams from trading away their own first-round pick in consecutive future years. So the only thing you can do is do pick swaps instead of, just outright giving your pick up. So Golden State can do 4 unprotected and then also do pick swaps. I'm not going to sit here and say that's the best package that Milwaukee can get. at all. I think what they need to do, if I'm Milwaukee, and we're going to, go through this as if we're the ownership / GM, how can we maximize Giannis's value? We don't have to trade him in this 2-week span of the trade deadline. Why do they have to trade him? They could easily wait till the offseason where teams, get their things in order and, evaluate where they are, as opposed to in the trade deadline. Look, are there going to be some desperate teams? Absolutely. But it's not necessarily guaranteeing the best package available, because what you want, and then if we go to this last page here, the Milwaukee Bucks are willing to wait until the offseason to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo if their price of a blue chip young talent and or surplus of draft picks is not met. Which makes perfect sense. I mean, listen, Giannis is a generational talent, 28 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5.6 assists. Insanely efficient as well. Carried Milwaukee to a championship. Was it 2021 or 2022? It's been a while, but yeah, he absolutely just carried Milwaukee to the championship and willed his way. And he's going to go to a team, and that team, wherever he goes, will be competitive. Again, whether it be Miami, Knicks, Golden State, Raptors, whoever it is, even if it's none of those four, wherever he does go, they will be competitive. Another thing that you could consider as well, if you look at Milwaukee's outgoing picks, so their incoming draft picks, it sucks. They traded away all their assets. However, what if you include Portland somehow, some way into the equation so that Milwaukee can get their picks back? Because look, Portland holds the right to swap in 2028. Portland owns their pick in 2029. Portland holds the right to swap in 2030. What if somehow, some way, they're like, hey, Portland, give us our picks back. You'll get something in return throughout all of this. And then Portland, they could be like, well, why did we have to? If you're Portland, you're like, well, you guys are going to suck. Well, what the Bucks would have in that conversation with Portland is, hey, if you don't trade us our picks back, we're going to have to sign free agents and try to be as competitive as we can to try not to give you, the best pick that you can get from us. So Portland could be incentivized to say, okay, well, we have a good roster now, because if you look at Portland's roster, they got some talent. Denny's having a career year. Dame's going to come back next year. Young Hansen is their first round pick this past year, so they're still developing him. Drew Holiday's playing pretty well. Shaden's playing pretty well. Jeremy Grant, role player. Donovan Clingan's playing pretty well. Scoot Henderson, another player that they're developing. Tumani Kamara is a nice, solid defender. Really solid role player all in all. You look at this Portland roster, and they have talent. They're not missing talent. So if you're Portland, you're incentivized to kind of listen to what Milwaukee has to say so that you could get pieces now for this developing team that you got going on and build around Denny. And then, hey, again, Dame's coming back next year. So what could Portland decide to do will play a factor into all this as well. But again, ultimately, it does boil down to, can the Bucks maximize their return in this 2-week span, or will they have to wait until the offseason? And this affects the rest of the league, of course, because look, if the Bucks hold on to Giannis, nobody has to worry about the team that receives him for this season. Let's say the Bucks do trade Giannis in this 2 weeks. Now the rest of the league is like, okay, wherever he goes, suddenly that team just became a competitor, or if they already are a competitor, true contenders. Let's say he goes, let's go back here. Again, just hypothetical. This is not saying he's going to go here at all. Let's say he goes to the Knicks. Knicks become immediate favorites out of the East, or at least top 2. Let's say he goes to the Heat. Same thing with the Heat. They become immediate contenders. Let's say he goes to the Raptors. Raptors become immediate contenders. Let's say he goes to the Warriors, right? Warriors immediately at the 8th seed become immediate contenders. So wherever he goes, the rest of the league, if you're not receiving Giannis, like for example, if you're the Thunder, if you're the Spurs, if you're the Nuggets, a team like that, if you're the Detroit Pistons, you actually would prefer that he does not get traded. Let's leave Giannis out of the equation entirely. Let's not worry about him this season. However, if he does, then it becomes, okay, well, we're going to have to be ready for this team. They're suddenly going to become someone we have to worry about. So everyone's watching. Whether you have stake in it or not as a direct competitor to, make a trade for him, or whether you have no stake in it, but it affects you so much because it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Everyone in the NBA is watching, and Milwaukee, your job is simple. Maximize your return, have a game plan, whatever your return is. the players that you receive, again, it has to be one of two things. You're either growing their value to trade them eventually, or you're actually having a young player to develop. One way or another, there has to be a game plan. As someone who's watched this situation closely for quite a while, I don't think the Bucks can really go wrong now that they have accepted that it's time to trade them. It's just, again, about maximizing that return and having an idea of, are we developing the players that we receive back, or are we just growing their value to trade them to get back more picks? It's got to be one or another. Very rarely can you get the best of both worlds of doing that, but I mean, you never know. We'll see. So let me know what you guys think. We will be watching this situation very closely, the NBA world, and of course, when the trade happens, I will talk about it if there is a trade, of course. Greatly appreciate you guys for watching. For like, subscribe, it goes a long way to help the channel. This is All We've Been Different. All We've Been Different, and we out.